Alright. Welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Coverage Experience. As I said, welcome back. You guys, you hear the call horn. Again, very subtle. Alright? Very, very subtle. But, yep. Again, another example of what it is that they do, how they do it. Alright, the New York Predators Department, who have been engaging in cognitive warfare, covert psychological warfare, illegal surveillance, covert drugging, the recruiting of criminal groups, or I should say fanatical religious cult criminal groups, to engage in covert warfare, right? Setups, frameworks. Honey trafficking, covert drugging, right? Even getting their criminal gangs to rob, steal from targeted individuals or targeted people. All right. Now I have to say targeted people because not only are we targeted individuals, but we are targeted people. All right. So when you look at, for example, real estate, these white, racist, Jewish real estate agents and real estate companies that target black people to steal their home. I'm not just saying it to say it, and you can't call me a liar for saying it because this is what they've been doing. Look. See, you're gonna see a lot of gray vehicles. Look at this person wearing a gray shirt. The woman that was running across from me, she was wearing gray. Another one here wearing a gray shirt, putting her hands behind the head, or his hands behind the head. Let me do the same thing. Let's see how long he's going to keep his hand there. All right? See what I say? Look how long they keep his hand there, and then she grab. Look, he's still doing it. Look. You see that? Look, he's still doing it. All right? Because they are emboldened. All right? That's why they do it. They do it because they're like, oh well, that shit don't work. You're exposing us. They don't do anything. Well, obviously it does. Like I said, my body said, don't let them fool you or even try to screw you. All right? Realize who your devils are. Not a devil, but devils. Anyway, so as I was saying, right? So you can't tell me I'm lying, or you can't call me anti-Semitic for speaking the truth. Because their war is against the truth. Because they have been brought up and taught lies, just as how we were. Except the lies that they were taught is that they are superior than us. That they are better than us. Right? So again, it's a different dynamics. And we view them and see them as God's chosen people. Well, they're only acting out like how the God in the Bible mindset is, which is, to go take other people's things. And even though the most religious of them don't see that, I don't believe that way. You have the Zionists that do. And you talk about, look at who controls the porn industry. Who control, a lot of these industries, financial industries, the television, movie, and they'll say, well, that's not true, it's anti-Semitic. That's another lie. It is true. So the fact that you're speaking the truth, I remember our black scholars in the 80s and 90s, when they were exposing the lie, all right, of the European Jews who placed themselves in history in which, they shouldn't have placed themselves in. I always say, it's not a problem to adopt a religion or to follow a religion. The problem comes from when you try to claim that the religion is yours, and somehow everybody else who follow that religion, that their stance is illegitimate. You know, you look at the fallacious Jews, right? You look at, the Igbo, right? Who ancestral lineage goes back to the Hebrews. But yet they will say that they're not true Jews, right? That's what they will say. And we as black people, as you said, the Negropean amongst us, we're the fools. We're the boo-boo, the clowns. Because we turn our back on the people that look like us, that did the research, that gave us the truth, and we think that they're wrong. But yet somehow these people who converted to Judaism, if you go read the history, who converted to Judaism in the 10th century, 9th, 10th century, that somehow all of a sudden that, they lay claim, right? And also they are able to tell you and I about our history. But we can't tell each other about our history, right? We can't do that. We can't tell each other about, we can't tell each other about our history because, they are in charge of our history. All right, hold on a sec. All right, look. Look, he come down here looking at the lady because I helped her down the stairs, Like I tell you, they do this shit, I have to laugh, man. They do this a lot to try to make you believe because you have a serious back injury that you can't help anyone. I mean, I helped her down the stairs. I don't have to bend my back. I'm tall. She's short. You know what I'm saying? I use arm strength, I tell you, these people, they're so ridiculous. The fact that they had the dude hide in there to look at to see, it just shows you just how fanatic that these people are, right? You know what I'm saying? That's just how fanatical these people are. All right? So they can, because that means I can't do any work? Yeah, I can do limited work. Okay, I can't sit down, particularly my back is killing me. I really can't sit down too long. And, but it's a reason why Pam won't get a new couch, even though I'll show you guys how that couch looks. It's to cause further injury to my back. So when I get home, if I'm sitting down, I could only sit down on my computer chair for about an hour, and then I have to lay down, all right? So that's why most of me see me doing videos, I'm laying down. But anyhow, this is the shit that they do. Oh, that's my alarm? Okay. Yeah, this is the shit that they do, man. But again, I just want to show you guys exactly what it is that they do and how they try to make you feel or believe certain bullshit. Like I said, come on, bring it on. I'm going to confront you. I'm not going to run. You're going to run. They're the ones that's running, all right? Because they know what they've done is criminal. And, when criminals do things when they're in position of authority, they're going to do any and everything to silence their victims, right? And I won't stay silent. I will never be silent. I don't care what they do, all right? I will never be silent. Hear the part of the part where I say, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care what they do, right? And so this is how they will manipulate people and people won't even know it, all right? So anyhow, talk to you guys in the next video.